So people are always asking how to play loud on the piano. They want to know how you can get the most sound and power out of this big, beautiful instrument. So there's lots of tips that I can give you, but before you try any of them, it's most important that you really understand how this instrument works. And because there are a lot of misconceptions about how you produce tone on a piano, and understanding how to play loud and soft is probably one of the most common ones. So I always ask new students, how do you think you get a big loud sound on the piano? And they will almost always answer, you need to press harder. So many people think that the harder you press the piano keys, the bigger the sound will be, and that is just, it's not the case. Getting a big forte sound out of the piano is not about how hard or how heavy you press the keys. You just need to know how to play the keys in the right way. And so I want to show you how today. So let's think about how the piano works at the most basic level. So when you press a piano key, it swings a felt-covered hammer that hits the strings of the piano. At the same time, it also raises this felt-covered damper, which allows the sound of the strings to resonate until you finally let go of the key, the damper drops down, and it stops the sound of the strings. So even though there are strings in your piano, it's not really in the string family like a violin or a cello, because we don't pluck or bow the strings to produce the sound. It is actually more of a percussion instrument because the hammers strike the strings in order to make sound. So knowing that this instrument works as a percussion instrument, I want you to think of a mallet and a drum. So if you have a mallet and you swing the mallet fast to hit the drum, you're going to get a big sound. If you swing the mallet slow, you're going to get a soft sound. It really doesn't matter how hard you press down on the mallet. So your volume on the piano in the same way is not determined by how hard you press down on the keys. It's the speed and the intensity that you use to get from the top of the key to the bottom of what's called the key bed. There's that small little window where all of your energy needs to be, and that will determine the speed and the intensity that the hammer hits the strings. So in music, the way we first make our sound is called the attack. From there, we talk about how we sustain our sound or how we allow it to decay. All instruments have to think about the attack and the sustain and the decay, but for pianists, it's a little unique because our sound will always decay. Unlike a violin, a wind instrument, we are not actually able to grow our sound when we're holding a note. The sound of a piano will always start to fall as soon as we make it. So this makes understanding this even more important. We have to be so conscious with what we do with our attack, how we first play that key, because we have such a small window for us to get the sound that we want. So we're going to practice this, and when we do, I actually want you to think about Bruce Lee. So the one and only Bruce Lee was known to be so lightweight and compact. He was small in size compared to his opponents, but he packed so much power and intensity. He would do what was called his famous 1-inch punch, where from 1 inch away, he would get this explosion of power that could knock people clear off the ground. And he did this by packing all of his speed and intensity into the smallest window while not wasting energy anywhere else. So just like Bruce Lee, the key to getting a bigger sound is to get as much speed and intensity packed into that little window, which is from the top of the key bed to the bottom. Pack it all in and then don't waste it anywhere else. So let's practice. The first step is always just to be aware of how much room you have to get power out of your sound. So there will be times when you play the notes from above the keys, but to really be aware of how much space you have for your attack, I actually want you to practice going just from the top of the key straight down to the bottom. So we're going to start with just one finger. Most often where we waste our energy or we exert ourselves, overexert ourselves is above the key and at the bottom of the key bed. That's usually where we'll waste energy and waste what could have gone into making a big, powerful sound. So starting from the top of the key, you want to make sure that you're not starting from above. You don't want to hyperextend your hand, lift it above to play back down. Rest your fingers right on the top of the key and give your arm a little bit of a shake so that you know that you're nice and relaxed. Your arm is nice and loose. And then you go straight down to the bottom, getting a big sound. Now, once you're at the bottom of the key, you also want to make sure that you're not pressing anymore at the bottom, because our window to make sound was just from here to the bottom. That's such a small amount of space to get our sound. Once we're at the bottom, look, if I were to jump up and down on this key bed, I can't get any more sound out of that note. It's already passed. So starting at the top, making sure you're relaxed, straight down to the bottom, and bottom, give yourself a little shake again and make sure that you're staying nice and relaxed. None of your energy should have gone there. Try it with another finger. So finger number 4, you can rest it just on the key, no energy. Straight down to the bottom, and once you're at the bottom, same thing, you relax. Try that one finger at a time in each hand. Then you might want to work your way up to a triad. So same thing, find all 3 of your notes. Try it up here, 3 notes in each hand. C major triad, resting your fingers at the top, and then straight down to the bottom. So this is just using your attack to get a nice big sound. Then you might add another note in each hand. And again, you're working to get all of your power from your attack. Eventually, you can add a lot more sound, add pedal, add a little bit more strength from your upper body, but that attack, that small window, is probably the most important key for you to practice getting a big booming sound, a lot of power from the piano. So I hope that helps. If you don't have an acoustic piano, you really want to be on an acoustic piano to feel this. You could do it on higher end digitals like a Roland. They'll have that touch sensitivity, but ideally you can get your hands on an acoustic piano and really try to feel where you can control your sound and how you can get the most power for the amount of energy that you put into it. Okay, so I hope that helps. Have fun playing those big loud passages. Talk to you soon. Bye.